So the very first Democratic presidential debate for 2020 kicks off tonight. And as a result of that happening, Reddit decided today was a good day of all days, to quarantine the Donald, like the one pro-President Trump subreddit on the platform. And it's caused a lot of people to really kind of tilt their heads back and go, I wonder if there's any correlation between this. I wonder if there's any type of connection between this. Very similar to what people like to say in regards to the Vox adpocalypse, because YouTube acted, never mind the fact they had been addressing this fact for months leading up to it. It was just poor timing. Terrible timing, in my opinion. I think that was a dumb move to do. And I do think that it was ultimately motivated by the controversy at hand. This, on the other hand, well, apparently, according to Reddit, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump or with the presidential debates going on tonight. It has everything to do with Oregon, my home state. Because, hey, everything revolves around Oregon in some fashion or another. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. But anyway, Reddit quarantines pro-Donald Trump group over threats. So, a Reddit forum for self-described supporters of President Trump was quarantined on Wednesday over threats against police and public officials in Oregon. Yeah, right? You're probably thinking like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. What the hell's happening in Oregon? Well, basically what's going on with Oregon is there was meant to be a vote in, I believe, the House for like a climate change bill. And Oregon Republicans in the House fled the state. They refused to go in. They fled the state. From what I'm being told by my family members in Oregon is that a few of them have fled to Idaho and are currently being surrounded and protected by a militia in Idaho. So if anyone tries to come get them to drag them home to, I don't know, do their damn job, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, right? A bit of a Waco situation going on here, a bit of a live action remake of Kevin Smith's Red State, one of those sort of things. It's crazy. Anyway, Reddit officials said the moderators on the subreddit The Donald, which counts about 750,000 followers, had encouraged or allowed behavior that broke the site's violence policy. And Reddit's been crazy about this stuff for a while. They really have. If I feel like the further we get away from Y2K, the more controlling a lot of these sites get. I mean, Twitter does it, Facebook does it, Reddit does it. Social media in general, but it does feel like this is very politically motivated. But it could also just be based upon the fact that these threats were allowed to maintain, or were allowed to happen, allowed to stay up. It says here, we are sensitive to what would be considered political speech, said Reddit spokesperson Anna Solner. However, recent behaviors, including threats against police and public figures, is content that is prohibited by our violence policy. As a result, we have sanctioned individual users and quarantined the subreddit. So I'm fine with sanctioning the individual users. I'm fine with demodding the moderators. I'm fine with shaking things up. If this content is allowed to permeate, and they were at least enough threats that were allowed to, be out there, perceived as such, yeah, it makes sense. That's totally fine. That's their policy. But to quarantine the entire thing, that does feel a bit weird to me. It does. It really, really, really does. Now, I haven't seen the posts themselves, so I can't tell you whether or not I feel that it was worthy to sanction those users. But they apparently did. So some users on the message board, which builds itself as a never-ending rally dedicated to the 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, had allegedly encouraged violence against Oregon's recent climate change vote. And this is where it talks about this. This is where it talks about the situation. GOP state senator, sorry, I thought it was representatives. I was wrong. Fled the state to prevent the bill from passing. And after calls for state police to go back and bring the lawmakers home, local far-right militia said they were prepared to defend the senators. That is like the weirdest timeline, is it not? State senators in Oregon were so afraid of a climate change bill that they fled the state. Now, I know people out there are going to argue, but they wanted to go back to the voters, which I'm okay with. As a recent non-Oregon voter, I would definitely probably vote for this climate change bill to go in. And here's the thing. A lot of people in Oregon are probably going to vote it through. It's a pretty blue state. It's a pretty blue state. So I don't know what they're worried about. Like, what they're deflecting for, what they're holding off for. This whole thing has gotten massively stupid. And as a result now, an entire subreddit with 750,000 people has been quarantined the day of the first two nights of the 2020 presidential election, with the debates happening between, I think, 10 candidates tonight, 10 candidates tomorrow, if I recall correctly. So it just feels like a weird timing is what it really does feel like. Anyway, so it says the Donald members posted since deleted comments like, none of this gets fixed without people picking up rifles, and I have no problems with shooting a cop trying to strip rights away from citizens, according to an article on The Verge. Well, the comments like, none of this gets fixed without picking up rifles is not incendiary. I mean, you've got people like Tim Pool going out there right now and trying to say that a civil war is going to be coming, which is usually a far right-wing train of thought. No, it's not. Civil war is not coming. Sorry. The vast majority of the country is more liberal than conservative. While the conservatives do own the vast majority of the guns, they're heavily concentrated into a couple states. We're not going to see a civil war, but we might see the attempt at trying to, may the South rise again sort of situation. That's what we might be seeing. But other than that, I don't think anything's going to happen. People just want to bloviate online. That's all they want to do, is they just want to yell online about it. Oh, I'm so angry. Well, what are you doing about it? Nothing. Because that's what happens. A lot of this is just smoke, hot air, BS. That's all it is. That's all it boils down to at this point. But I do want to point out that sometimes certain things happen that's not, like the guy who took out the synagogue in Pittsburgh, or was it Philadelphia? I forget. It was Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. But that guy posted on Gab that he was going to go do something, and then he went and did it. But you have no way of knowing that ahead of time. He posted it as he was going in. So you have no way of knowing. But a lot of the stuff is just people blowing smoke. But there's been times where it's led to something. So who knows? I mean, so what do you do? What do you do? How do you differentiate between the two? How do you do that? No one has an answer. No one has an answer. Now, obviously, trying to silence speech is not the right answer here. And I don't think quarantine, I just want to make this abundantly clear. I don't believe quarantining the subreddit was a good idea. I think it was stupid. I think it was stupid to do today. I think it was stupid overall. If anyone out there is making those kind of comments, then feel free to delete that account. Anything that is, an open call for violence, saying here, I have no problem shooting a cop trying to strip rights away from citizens, is not a call. He's saying, I don't agree with it. I think it's an abhorrent line to say, but it's not an open call to violence. Alex Jones saying $1 million to the head on the lawyer that's handling the Sandy Hook case, and his head on a spike, and him repeating $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, while his lawyer is sitting next to him, is more to a call for action than this kind of stuff. And nothing is happening there. Alex Jones, who knows what's going to go on to Jones? That's going to be wild. But I mean, no, nothing else is happening there. Anyway, so the quarantine won't completely ban the forum, but it will conceal the community behind a warning where viewers have to affirm that they are sure they want to view the content. The message board will also be blocked from appearing in searches and recommendations. In a letter sent to moderators, Reddit said it has observed a disproportionate amount of rule-breaking behavior, saying, we recognize that you do remove posts that are reported, but we are troubled that violent content more often goes unreported and worse is upvoted. The quarantine will be reevaluated if moderators unambiguously communicate to your subscribers that violent content is unacceptable. Now, of course, this is probably going to be unquarantined in the next couple of days. But if I recall correctly, the Donald itself used to appear on the front page of Reddit. It doesn't anymore. I mean, that's effectively a quarantine. If the algorithm of Reddit has unceremoniously removed a very popular subreddit to keep it out of the main searches. So it's already basically kind of been, in its own little pocket, but it's grown to 750,000. And that might be one of those things where it just kind of freaks right out. But I have to ask the question too, how many people subscribe to the Reddit or subscribe to the Donald just to kind of point and laugh? And there's a lot of them that do that too, but who knows? Okay. Again, just because I have to fucking do this. No, I do not think they should have quarantined it. It's an individual basis. Find those people, quarantine those people, and get on the mods for telling them to do a better job for trying to keep that content off when they see it, and then it should be fine. If you want to discuss Donald Trump, if you want to say he's the best thing since sliced bread, if you want to do all that crap, it legitimately means nothing to me. By all means, go ahead. You have that right. I can't take it away from you, nor do I want to take it away from you. You have the ability. Knock your socks off. But violent content, and if threats or things perceived as threats are happening, then the mods got to do better. And I think we all can agree on that one. I think we all can agree that the mods have to do better. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.